We're making a wrapped loop. This is the hardest thing you'll ever do in jewelry, so don't worry if you don't get it right the first time, but I'm going to teach you the secret, which is completely different from what you normally have read. The first thing, the object of this is to make a perfectly round and perfectly balanced loop. So in order to do that, I'm going to create the first thing I'm going to do is to create the space into which I'm going to wrap. So I'm going to use my round nose pliers to gauge the space. See how I'm placing it right at the top of the beads, and this distance here, that's going to be the space I'm going to wrap into. So I'm just going to push the wire towards me so that it's at right angles. Now I'm going to shift the pliers up. I want to have this top blade to use as a jig to form the top part of the loop. I have my pliers right against the shank of the wire, right against it. If I don't do that, I won't get a round loop, I'll get an oblong loop. Now I'm going to push the wire over the pliers away from me. Do it the same way every time and you'll get better and better at it. Your hands will develop motor memory and you'll get really good at this. Now I want to make the bottom part of the loop. If I were to bring the wire around the bottom now, this blade of the pliers would be in the way and I wouldn't get a round loop. So I'm going to shift my pliers up. Now I'm going to bring the wire around the bottom and towards the front of the pliers. That's important because I want the wire to be in the correct place to start my wrap. So this is what I have at this point. I have a round loop with the wire sticking out. Now I'm going to put my round nose pliers aside and take 2 pairs of chain nose pliers. I will close the first pair firmly over the loop and hold this with the wire sticking up. Notice it's at the back and sticking up. Now I'm going to grasp the wire with the other pair of chain nose pliers. Look how I'm holding it, at the tip of the pliers and the tip of the wire. If I were to hold it here, it would not come down. I would not be able to get it past these pliers. So, tip of the pliers, tip of the wire. Now I'm going to pull it firmly down. Firmly. Okay. Now, I'm not going to do this. This is what people do, people teach you to do, and that's how you get a mess. I am going to turn the entire project over so that the wire is at the top again. Again, I'm going to take it from the tip and pull it down. Now I'm going to turn it again. Now this time, when I turn it, I can see right here where I laid the wire down last time. So I can lay this wire right next to it because I can see what I'm doing. Here we go. And turn it again, and same thing. Now people often ask me, how many times should I be wrapping? Well, the answer is until my space is nearly full. It's usually 2 to 3 wraps. If you are doing any more than that, then you're probably making your space too big when you start. Now I've finished wrapping. That's as far as I'm going to go. Now I'm going to cut this as close as I can. You'll never be able to cut it completely close enough, but as close as I can. Okay, see this little tiny little piece sticking out here? That's going to bug you, so we want to get rid of that. So now I'm going to just squeeze it with my chain nose pliers, and it will find its way into that tiny little space that was left. So now what I have is a nice, neat wrap.